This won't work. Oh.
Center sponsored this video and sent us 10 motherboards from various manufacturers to test. And let me put it this way. If the results surprised us, then they're almost definitely going to surprise you. Like, this was not the biggest loser. Not by a long shot. And neither is Micro Center. Get the best prices and best selection on PC hardware and other technology at any of Micro Center's 25 locations across the United States. New customers can get a free 240 gigabyte SSD at Micro Center. Offer valid in-store only, no purchase necessary. For every motherboard, we tore down and rebuilt the exact same test bench, reusing the same memory, CPU, cooler, power supply, SSD, and graphics card. We even made sure to grab the exact parts ran out. This is to control our cables as tightly as possible. We even tested every system in the same climate-controlled environment. After building each bench, we'll have affiliate links down below for everything we use, by the way, we immediately found an important reason to choose one board over the other. Not every UEFI BIOS is created equally. Some of these didn't even allow us to change the PL1 and PL2 power limits that much, if at all. And while most of them did, we had to dig through advanced CPU settings to find them in some cases. After powering on, we updated the BIOS, enabled XMP, and maxed out our long duration power limits whenever possible. We could have gone for a more vanilla configuration here, but this is a more enthusiast-oriented exploration, and that we are looking for benefits of more premium motherboards, we felt this was the right approach. The reality is modern CPUs have gotten really good at knowing exactly when it is okay to boost and when it is not. These days, it's actually pretty hard to break a CPU, and on most boards, you'll get some kind of warning when you toy with the settings that can do so. Enthusiast cooling has also gotten really good, with most performance tier gaming systems being equipped with a 240mm AIO water cooler or a large tower heatsink. We used a Noctua NHD15, which will run you about $115 at Micro Center, and should give our processor plenty of room to stretch its legs, while providing some incidental cooling to the VRMs, which could help performance. Something to note is that even with a great cooler, our Cinebench and Blender tests never saw our CPU push past the 250 watt mark. And this is in spite of setting the power limits to the maximum, like 4,000 watts in some cases. So what gives with that? Well, the thing is, even if we do find some performance differences from board to board, changing the power limits is kind of like removing the governor on a car. Yes, theoretically, the speedometer goes up to 300 miles an hour, but if the system is but your engine is still going to max out on its own. And like a car, you can open up some more headroom by increasing voltage, adjusting load line calibration, and manually changing the frequency of your chip. But that's a topic for another video, like this one, or for you to explore by subbing to an extreme overclocker like Gerbauer. This video is all about out-of-the-factory performance, and right out of the gate, I'm really surprised. Our big winner was MSI's godlike Z590, which ended up with the highest Cinebench score and the fastest Blender render times. To be clear, this is a $900 motherboard competing against boards in the $100 to $200 category. But I mean, even in the days when motherboards affected system performance by a lot, it was common to see expensive boards that were like loaded up with features. In this case, Thunderbolt 4, Wi-Fi 6E, obviously super premium power delivery, but it didn't actually offer a clear performance advantage unless you were trying to break sub-zero overclocking records. Of course, that performance advantage was still pretty small. So let's take a look at the board that came in second place, at least in terms of Cinebench. Our ASRock Z590 Pro 4 was behind by just 19 points in Cinebench and ran only a couple of seconds slower in the renders, yet managed a whopping 1% more FPS in CSGO. Okay, that last bit doesn't sound that impressive, but it costs a fraction as much at $185 US. And while it only has 14 power phases with 50 amp chokes, 2.5 gigabit LAN, and no onboard Wi-Fi, the choice is pretty clear if you care about value. Buy one of these instead, and maybe use the money you saved at ltdstore.com. The beanie and the water bottle are a great combo. As for the rest of our results, they're mostly what we were expecting. CPUs are more integrated than ever these days, so motherboards don't contribute like they used to. But there are some outliers. For instance, MSI wins the crown for the best Micro ATX B560 board as well, beating out 3 other Z590 boards, at least in Cinebench. The B560M Mag Mortar was slower to render by 8 or 7% in BMW and Classroom respectively, but it had the 3rd highest Cinebench score, the 2nd highest FPS in CSGO, and the 2nd fastest turn time in Civ 6. B550s aren't supposed to overclock, so picking up a supposedly lower tier board for its performance is a little unintuitive. Meanwhile, MSI's Z590A Pro lost Cinebench by just 17 points, but how? Well, you could explain this with some simple run-to-run variants. That's such a narrow victory that it's barely won at all. You'd think that, but we actually reran our benches on every board, and these margins between them, while narrow, were surprisingly consistent. One of the major benefits we saw with MSI boards was when you set them up, it asks you what kind of cooling solution you have. The more robust solution you pick, the higher they push both the long and short duration power limits. Since an NHD15 is basically as good as a solid water cooling setup, we chose water-cooled instead of tower cooler, and it maxed out the limits for us at 4,000 watts. You could easily achieve the same on a different brand, but this kind of user-friendliness is something the others could learn from. Of course, performance isn't the entire story. MSI's Z590 board managed to stay about 10 degrees cooler on the VRMs. So while the 90 plus degrees of our B560M Mag Mortar isn't out of spec for these kinds of components, a hot day could easily push that to 100 or 110. And remember, we have some airflow around the socket. If you're using an AIO or you're in a tight case, you might not. As for our losers, well, as you could have guessed, it's mostly the B560s and our solitary H510 board. The Gigabyte Z590 UD was 20 points behind in Cinebench, and so it unfortunately gets to hang out down here, despite performing significantly better in the render times and performing the best when it comes to CSGO at nearly 560 FPS average. So if you're purely after gaming performance, this one might call to you from Micro Center's shelf or in one of their custom pre-builds, despite being down here in the losers bracket. As for the one that was bad across the board, there are a few reasons for this. First off is their inability to set higher power limits. Most of them capped out at 125, 150, or 200 watts, and increasing the duration limit didn't help all that much either. Most of them aren't running too hot, and if you chose a matching mid-tier CPU, they would most likely be fine. But they're just not able to live up to the 11900K's full 250 watt potential. They typically have fewer power phases and a less robust power delivery system with just one 8-pin EPS connector. Speaking of phases, we're building out a DIY phase change CPU cooler with some help from Brian the Electrician. So make sure you get subscribed so you don't miss it. Back to our B560 boards though. These power draw limits aren't surprising, but what is surprising are the bottom two boards. You might be shocked to learn the ASRock H510M wasn't in last place. It has no XMP option, and memory can only go as high as 3200 megahertz, so it did see the worst CSGO score at 472 FPS average. However, it absolutely crushed our loser board in Cinebench by roughly 4,000 points. Render times were also won by nearly an extra minute in the BMW render and 2 minutes in the Classroom. As impressive as this is, these results are still significantly lower than the B560M board above it. But what the heck is going on with our Gigabyte B560M DS3H? Well, power phases don't seem to matter all that much until they do. This thing starts out strong, and the initial render in Cinebench R23 finishes quickly, giving you hope. But with each subsequent render, the score goes down and down and down, all the way to about 7,688 points. Ouch! If we check our clock speeds and power, they're all over the place, while CPU temperatures are mediocre at 80 to 84 degrees. What gives? Well, our VRM temperatures are terrible, quickly hitting 112 degrees Celsius. This board is trying to squeeze all the power it can out for our CPU, but the load is simply too much for the system to bear, and it buckles under the pressure, dropping wattage and clock speeds in an effort to lower the temperatures, bringing them back up to see if it's okay yet, and then quickly settling back down again. It's like a person trying to take a bath in boiling water. The toe dips in, they recoil, and they wait a moment, and then they try again, and it just keeps going like that. Our other CPU-heavy tasks saw similarly poor performance, with this board seeing the worst turn times in Civ 6 and the second worst FPS in CSGO. I have a hunch that if the memory had been set to 3200 megahertz, it would have lost the battle to the ASRock H510M as well. So our winner is obvious, but it's not the godlike. As it stands, the best board of the bunch with prices we can actually recommend is the ASRock Z590 Pro 4. It didn't come out on top in any category, but it was always near the head of the pack at $185. The BIOS was relatively easy to use, it has a lot of options for expansion and storage, and it comes with ASRock's base frequency boost technology that supposedly pushes non-K CPUs past their limit through base clock overclocking. So theoretically, you should be able to buy this board, put a lower end chip in it, and still get pretty good performance so you can afford something better. Our honorable mention is MSI's B560M Mag Mortar. For a smaller machine on a budget, it's a great choice. Just like Micro Center, today's sponsor. Get the best prices and the best selection on PC hardware and technology at any of Micro Center's 25 locations across the United States. New customers can get a free 240 gigabyte SSD at Micro Center, offer valid in-store only, no purchase necessary. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out our How Motherboards Work Turbo Neuter Edition for a better explanation of how some of this works. That link down below.
We believe saving at Target should be easy, like saving 5% on every trip while paying from your existing checking account. Apply in minutes today and use it right away by linking your checking account to a Target debit red card today.
This video from 2013 has 2.5 million views, and yet it's straight up wrong. Can you imagine how many gamers for all these years we convinced RAM speed didn't matter? We now know it does matter. But here's a question for you. When did RAM speed start to matter? Were we wrong before? Or did something change since babyface Linus was still using Windows 7? And if so, what? I can tell you nothing changes about these segues to our sponsor.
iFixit. For repairs on the go, iFixit has you covered. Find out more about the ultra portable Minnow and Moray sets and how they can make your repairs easier at the end of the video.
We've got a few theories about why the impact of RAM speed is different for gaming today than it was 9 years ago. And while we all agree that each of them is probably true, we don't know which is the most influential. Since I'm already here, let's start with my theory, which is this. The benchmarks themselves were flawed, and so our results were also flawed. Looking at the old video where we claimed RAM speed didn't matter, we ran a GTX 660 Ti at 1080p max settings with anti-aliasing enabled. We are GPU bound out the wazoo, which isn't going to tell us much about how the RAM is behaving. I need to redo these tests with reasonable settings, so I pulled those old parts out from the archives and built a similar enough system to rerun Metro Last Light. The numbers won't quite line up since we don't have our 660 Ti anymore, but we can see how it does with this factory overclocked 660. At the original benchmark settings, we're once again looking at very little difference between the RAM speeds. Technically, our 2666 kit runs over 5% faster in minimum frame rates, but that translates into less than a whole frame per second in the real world, so yeah. If we turn off anti-aliasing, we're still seeing a similar result despite the lesser load on the GPU. It's when we switch over to more modest in-game settings that we see almost no difference across the board. What? Okay then. I expected that the higher our frame rates, the more RAM speed would matter. I guess the result makes some sense, seeing as the higher the settings, the more data needs to pass through the CPU to the GPU. Maybe if I run a notoriously CPU-bound title at esports settings, we'll get more of an impact on RAM speed? Kinda. Minimum frame rates creep up as we go up in RAM speed, but it's not by a lot, and average FPS doesn't change by much. Cinebench R15 also doesn't show much of a difference in CPU rendering, although we depart from our original review here by mostly even jumps as we go up the stack in OpenGL. Did I just accidentally prove our old video right? Well, not so fast. Let's hear Jake's theory.
Games have gotten a lot bigger over the last 9 years, and because of that, a ton of data has to go to the GPU very quickly. Top that off with more intense physics calculations and heavier operating systems with more going on in the background, and you've got yourself a RAM bottleneck. So my theory, or at least part of it, is that RAM speed just didn't matter as much back then, and what changed is actually the games.
Which is a good point. We saw this in reverse when we dropped the settings down in Metro and got less disparity between our RAM kits. Cinebench OpenGL gave us another clue, which is in its CPU utilization. It seems like 3 to 4 threads are in use at any given time, so larger, more modern games with bigger assets that use more threads should show a greater disparity between our RAM kits. So let's test Jake's theory. The most modern title we have that I can easily run on Windows 7 is Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which is both pretty large and uses multiple threads. And well, slow RAM hurts a bit at 1080p Ultra, but there's no tangible difference going from 1600 to 2666, despite the immense cost difference when it was new. Cutting the detail level to low narrows the gap even further, which tracks with what we saw in Metro. Bigger assets need faster RAM, or a bigger bag. Hey, back orders for the backpack are up, and so are the reviews. Go check them out, you can fit so many assets in there. So Jake's onto something. Assets are a factor, but now we had to ask, is that all there is? Let's hear Linus's thoughts.
Since we made that video, GPUs have gotten ridiculously powerful. Even just 3 years later, we went from a GTX 660 with 2 gigs of RAM and an anemic processor to the 1060, a mid-range GPU that had up to 6 gigabytes of VRAM, not to mention that it was much more powerful. So my theory is that as GPUs have gotten more and more powerful, they've also become more and more demanding on the rest of your system, whether we're talking about PCI Express slot bandwidth or, you got it, system memory bandwidth.
This is probably the most obvious difference between our old test setup and today's, so let's test that. I slotted an RTX 2080 Ti into the old bench in place of the GTX 660, and oh boy, does it ever make a difference. Not just that it's so much faster than the 660, but we finally see scaling between our memory speeds. The difference in Metro is at minimum about 5% going from 1600 to 2666, and the absolute chasm between 800 and 1600 is staggering. Shadow of the Tomb Raider similarly slams the slow memory and gives the fast stuff a roughly 10 to 12% advantage over the typical frequency back in the day. CSGO, despite being notoriously CPU bound, is ironically less sensitive here, perhaps due to the settings or those old assets, with the biggest difference being in average frame rate. So Linus was onto something here. But there's a twist. Cinebench again doesn't seem to care until we boot up the OpenGL test, where we get similar scaling to the GTX 660. That test must be CPU limited, since we've removed all the other variables, which is where Alex's theory comes into play.
Since 2013, CPUs have gotten bonkers fast. We've gone from dual cores being fine and quad cores being high end, and they couldn't even break 4 gigahertz. Now quad cores are low end, and we're easily pushing past 5 gigahertz on 8 core processors. It's crazy. Plus, CPUs have gotten way faster in terms of IPC, and they have way bigger caches. Keeping that many cores fed means you need faster RAM. So my theory is that in 2013, we simply didn't have enough cores and general CPU speed for RAM speed to really make a difference.
Another good point. And to illustrate it, I've taken our modern Core i9 12900K and tweaked its DDR5 to be as slow as possible. Yes, that says DDR5 1600. It benchmarks close to, but is still a little bit faster than the DDR3 1600 on our old bench, but with about 2.5 times the latency. It's as close to apples as we'll get, and we'll have the bench's parts linked down below. With the RTX 2080 Ti, the difference RAM speed makes is material in Metro, but it's not as major as you might think at less than 10% going from DDR3 to DDR5. And that carries over to CSGO too. And again, there's virtually no difference in Cinebench whatsoever. We need something more modern to really see the difference here, so I fired up F1 2021 and Far Cry 6 with and without HD textures, and yeah, the difference between 1600 and 6000 is incredible, especially in Far Cry 6, where we're looking at upwards of 50%. But something magical happens when we look at the numbers for 4800 megatransfers per second RAM versus 6000. Look at that. Does it remind you of something? Yeah, it's more or less in that 0 to 5% range, just like our old bench tests. This time, the 2080 Ti is the bottleneck. There's always something, isn't there? For the sake of completeness, when we pair the GTX 660 with the modern system, it's predictably GPU bound in every scenario except CSGO, where the extra RAM speed did help pretty significantly in both minimum and average frame rates. With all the testing done, it's time to answer the question: what changed? Our old testing methodology didn't actually end up playing a major role. In fact, it turns out that, anti-aliasing aside, running games at higher quality is a good benchmark for testing RAM speed. Software, on the other hand, did in fact change things, sometimes dramatically, but only to a point. If your CPU and GPU are being properly fed and fully utilized, it becomes a question of how fast that hardware is rather than how fast the RAM is. And if they aren't being fully utilized, then faster RAM will nudge them closer to peak performance. That means that faster memory today may or may not significantly improve performance depending on the application and your hardware. But later on down the road, when you upgrade your GPU, you'll be bottlenecked far less if you have faster RAM. In other words, our old video wasn't technically wrong, but there's far more to the story than we understood back then, and almost certainly more that we didn't uncover today. What we did learn today was that compared to CPUs, GPUs are more sensitive to changes in RAM speed, or at least the RTX 2080 Ti is more sensitive to RAM speed than our 12900K is. Our test suite was limited, so Radeon or Ryzen may scale differently. The big takeaway is this: it's that combination of software complexity, more available bandwidth, and more data-hungry GPU cores that makes memory speed matter. And it does matter. And so does our sponsor.
iFixit. You break it, I fix it. Not me, of course, but iFixit's Moray and Minnow kits are the toolkits for the tinkerer on the go. The pocket-sized Minnow driver kit is only $14.99 with an easy-to-open magnetized case, a built-in sorting tray, 16 different bits, and a handle with a built-in eSIM eject tool. Pretty fancy. For something slightly bigger and longer, the Moray driver kit is only $19.99 and comes with 32 different bits with extended reach next for digging into those hard to reach nooks and crannies. And all iFixit kits come with a lifetime warranty as well, so you're sure to end up in a landfill somewhere before your iFixit kit does. So check out our links in the description to get yours today.
Thanks for watching, guys. Instead of throwing you to that old video, how about checking out our much more recent video exploring whether 8 gigs of RAM is still enough in 2022? The answer might surprise you.
At Target, low prices and great deals mean more.
pretty. Wanting to use a PC for live streaming? Well, will your current PC work, or what should you buy? Let's talk minimum specs for a streaming PC. For live streaming, the three most important specs to look at on your PC are the CPU, the central processing unit, the GPU, the graphics processing unit, and the total amount of memory. I'll explain what to look for in those in a minute, but if all you want is a super simple stream with a single camera source, then you can get by with a 2 gigahertz quad-core CPU, a DirectX 10.1 compatible GPU, and 8 gigabytes of RAM. But in reality, that's really not going to give you much room to grow or add anything fancy. And we all love fancy, don't we? Side note, now these specs are from our testing and our results, but you may experience something different depending on a whole lot of factors. For example, the OS version that you're using, any hardware that you might have plugged into your computer, any software that you might be using actively while streaming or just installed could be bogging down the system. So in other words, your results may vary. All right, let's break it down, starting with level 2 streaming specs. Level 2 live streaming is when you're streaming from a browser-based service like Restream or StreamYard. And in that case, the minimum specs for your PC should be at least a 2 gigahertz quad-core i5 processor, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and that DirectX 10.1 compatible GPU. But if you're going to be going fancy, bringing in guest interviews, lots of graphics, then you really are going to be safer with at least a 3 gigahertz quad-core i7 processor and 16 gigs of RAM. Now on to level 3 streaming specs. Level 3 live streaming is what we call using downloadable software onto your computer like vMix or OBS. And for this, the minimum specs we would recommend for your PC should be at least a 2.8 gigahertz 6th generation quad-core i7 processor, 8 gigs of RAM, and that DirectX 10.1 compatible GPU. But if you're going fancy, you're going to bring in those multiple cameras, you're going to have guest interviews, send the vMix output into Zoom, things like that, then you're going for a minimum of 3.8 6th generation quad-core i7 processor and 16 gigs of memory. Remember, the more attractive streams and videos that you see are graphics heavy, which means you're going to need a more robust system. So use these specs as a minimum. Learning a thing or two? Fantastic. Hit that subscribe button and then turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a thing, and you can join us for our live Q&As. Yay, we get to hang! The good news is, unlike Macs, yeah, you can feel superior right now, PCs can actually be modified and upgraded over time with certain components and within reason, but that gives you a little bit more future-proofing kind of built in. Just keep in mind that in order to upgrade the CPU later, you might also have to upgrade the entire motherboard and memory as well. So keep that in mind for your budget. And also the question is, do you really want to have to do that? If yes, you don't mind doing that, then great. If no, you don't want to do that, then make sure you plan to spend that budget now rather than later. When it is time to upgrade your PC, then here's how we recommend prioritizing that spend. First, look at your budget and purchase the best option in each of these categories in this order. First priority, CPU. vMix and other streaming softwares that you download rely heavily on both the CPU and the GPU, so these should be your first priorities. Minimum level would be an AMD Ryzen 5 or Intel i5 6th generation or later. But we'd really recommend an AMD Ryzen 7 Plus or Intel i7 4th generation or later. The second priority would be the GPU, the graphics processing unit. And at a minimum here, you're looking at the NVIDIA GPU like a GTX 1050. But really recommended would be the GTX 2060 and up. Third priority, memory. Always get as much as you can afford. Now, you might be able to get by with 8 gigs of RAM here, but over time with software updates, this will wind up being on the lower end of what you really need. So if you can afford it, go for the 16 gigs as a starting point minimum. Your fourth priority is storage space. While 256 gigabytes of storage can go a long way if your computer is doing only streaming and nothing else, but if you're gonna
All right. You guys, there says there's two people here. Either one of you going to say hi? Hey, Manel. Yeah, it was good. Thank you. Good to see you. How you doing today? Hope everything is good. I'll be right back. I got to use the restroom. Yep, just you and I. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Glad to see you. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just trying to. I'm having some problems with my computer, so I'm trying to figure some things out. I wanted to build a new one, but I don't think I'm going to be able to afford to build a new one. So now I'm trying to figure out what chipset I have and use maybe my processor and a different motherboard, because my motherboard, I can't really do too much with it. Trying to look for cheaper alternatives to basically upgrade my system so I don't have as many problems as I'm having. And Anna's doing a lot better. She finally came to see me. She's sleeping right now. She doesn't have to get up for any specific reason today, so she'll probably sleep till like 9 or 10. Yeah. I think it's kind of weird how you can't join in on the stream on Facebook, though. You can only watch it from what I can tell. I think my stream on StreamYard's a little longer than the one on Facebook. Well, what the heck good are you then, you silly rascal? One job to do. No, I'm playing with you. Oh my gosh. Oh, I wonder. Um, what? That was kind of weird. Okay. Did you leave? Let's go. Love you both. Get big snuggles for the animals. All right. Well, you take care. Um, uh, so how do you... Great. Uh, mm, all right. Um, Hmm. Hmm. Oh. Somebody's in the room. I apologize. Hello? I'm sorry. Um, uh, 2012. Wow. 2-6. Oh, okay. Oh. '11. Ooh. No, that's 4. Oh. I don't know. I don't understand. All right, 6, 6. Uh, uh, $81.50. That's got 8. I don't understand. Uh, Hello, who's here? You gonna talk to me? Oh, hey, Mary. How you doing this morning? I'm trying to figure out different ways I can upgrade my computer. Come on. Come on, you fucker. What the hell? Weatherman got it almost right. That's cool. I don't remember honestly what it was supposed to do, but I apologize. Huh. About a foot of snow, huh? That's funny. Uh, so what do you guys got planned for today? Hmm. Staying inside and staying warm, huh? Sounds like a plan. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. Fucking bullshit. Oh man. Are you the only one up or awake? Oh. Yeah, that's cool. You guys both get up usually early? Alright. God damn it. Oh. Yeah, I bet. I don't know how you guys do it with all those damn pups. They drive me crazy. It drives me crazy with these two big ones we got in my trailer. They usually stay on one side of the trailer and you stay on the other side so you can at least walk around a little bit. Yeah, that's the problem with mine is they always want to lay right in front of me. Cat, stop. That hurts. No, don't be clawing me. I'm your daddy's. You don't claw your daddies. I bet. How big is your trailer that you're in? Holy shit. Damn, I don't know how you guys do that. Mine's like a 36 or 38, I think, and I wish I had more room. Is the boys' trailer any bigger, or is it about the same size? Oh, damn. But you did say you guys had some outbuildings to store stuff, though, right? So you don't have to keep everything in your trailer. See, that's my problem. Is I got so much shit and not enough room to put it in. I got my trailer and I don't know. I think it's like an 8x10 shed. Uh, I got my washer and dryer in there, and that takes up one whole corner of the shed. I got my hot water heater, my washer and dryer on one side of it, and that takes up one wall. And I got my tools and stuff in there, and by the time that's all in there, it's pretty much full. And I got 3 electric bikes that I have to figure out where to put all them and stuff. So 8x16, that's pretty good size. Uh, yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh, let's see here.
Your old hard drive to your new hard drive. This process can be a little daunting if you have never done it before, but do not worry. We are going to walk you through every step of the process. Make sure you subscribe to our channel before we begin with this discussion. So let's get started. Sit back and let us show you how it has done. There are a few methods that you can use for this, but we are going to be focusing on the easiest and the most common methods. You have decided it is time for a new computer. But before you can abandon your old one, you need to transfer all your important files. There are a few ways to do this, but we are going to use the Windows Easy Transfer tool from Microsoft. First, open up Windows Easy Transfer on your new computer. You will be prompted to choose which type of transfer you would like to do. We are going to do a transfer from this computer to an external hard drive. Select external hard drive to which you have copied data from another PC and click Next. Windows will start copying your data and related settings to the external drive. Hard disk failure or data loss is a major problem while conducting such a process. To counter this issue, we have a top-notch tool for you. Windows Data Recovery Tool. It is a powerful tool that can recover data from FAT and NTFS partitions that have been damaged, formatted, or inaccessible. Kernel for Windows Data Recovery can even be used to recover corrupted, lost, or damaged data files from hard drives or USB drives
All right.
that have been accidentally formatted or corrupted. We hope you are able to transfer files from an old hard drive to a new hard drive and prevent any kind of data loss. Do not forget to click the like button and leave your comments below. Subscribe to our channel to never miss a video. Find out more about the tool from the link below. Have a nice day ahead.
An elite gamer? We can't stand lag. We made it our mission to get you gaming.
How do I get files from an old hard drive? Hi everyone, Leo Notenboom here for AskLeo.com. Hey, if you're not subscribed to my weekly email newsletter, Confident Computing, go visit AskLeo.com/newsletter. And
All right. Says we got two people. Who's the second person? You're not going to say nothing? You're not going to talk. I'm just going to watch my video. And now we got 0.
And sign up today. Each week, I share more tips, tricks, solutions, and information to help you use your technology more confidently. So you've got an old hard drive, or you've got a machine that won't boot from its hard drive, but you've got data on that hard drive that you want to recover, to get off of that hard drive. What do? Well, there are several approaches depending on your exact situation. I'm going to go through them in the order that, honestly, I prefer, the approaches that I prefer to taking the data off of an old hard drive. Solution number 1 is to actually make it an external hard drive. Now, this requires that you understand what kind of a hard drive you have, how big it is, 3.5 inch, 2.5 inch. What kind of an interface is probably not as big of a deal anymore. Most of them are SATA. If you're looking at an SSD, M.2 is a completely different interface. You can still do this with that, but it's not as common yet, simply because it's a newer technology. SATA is everywhere. So get an external enclosure that supports the type of drive you have. Put the drive in that external enclosure, and then all of a sudden you've got this nice external USB drive that you can connect up to any computer and presumably copy off the data and other things that you care about that were on that drive. Then after you're done with it, you can reuse it, reformat it, use it for external storage, start putting backups on it, whatever. You've got yourself a nice external drive. Solution number 2. There are such things as, I'll call it a USB enclosure without the enclosure. All it really boils down to is a cable that has the SATA connections at one end and a USB connection at the other. And you connect up the naked hard drive to this cable, and all of a sudden it appears as an external hard drive. If you've got an internal 3.5 inch drive, the bigger drives, you may also need to make sure that the cable comes with its own power supply to actually power the drive. The smaller drives that you might find in a laptop use significantly less power and can be driven off of the cable itself, but the larger drives need the extra power that an external power adapter will give you. This is something that I would use if the drives aren't something that I plan to keep using long term. It's a great temporary solution. In fact, one of these cables is just a neat tool to have in your toolbox, because when you run across a SATA drive that is coming from a machine you don't trust or a machine that's not working, you've got this thing that will allow you to pretty much immediately connect it up to any machine with a USB interface and start extracting the data, assuming the drive itself, of course, is working. It's also useful if you don't care what it looks like. I actually have, I think, 2 or 3 external drives permanently connected to cables like this down in my basement because I don't care. They're never going to travel anywhere. They are external storage, and I just leave them on a shelf with these kinds of cables attached. But they're not terribly expensive cables. Just make sure you're getting the right one for the kind of drive you're looking to use or to get the data off of. Solution number 3 is a little different. That involves leaving the drive in its original machine, but then booting from something else. Typically, that means booting from a USB version of a Linux Live distribution. These are distributions that you can boot that don't actually try to install anything on your machine. They just boot from the USB stick you've provided and run Linux. Then in Linux, you can then examine the contents of the hard drive on your machine, and you can copy files off to other USB devices, or you could do whatever other kinds of things you feel like you want to do to this. There are some Windows-based recovery disks or USB sticks as well, but the idea is the same. You're booting from something that is not going to try and install or actually even modify your hard disk in any way. It boots up into its own operating system, be it Linux or something else, and then allows you to examine the hard drive of the machine that it happened to be installed on, and then allows you to examine the hard drive of the machine you happen to be using it on. Now, I have to throw out a caveat because these techniques, they're great when they work, but there are some things that are going to get in the way sometimes of having them work. For example, if the drive is encrypted, well, encryption, on one hand, it's intended to prevent exactly this, right? It's intended to keep the data on that hard drive secure so that somebody can't just steal the hard drive and attach it to another machine. So you may not be able to access the hard drive's data, regardless of what you do, if the drive is encrypted. Depending on the encryption technology, if you're using BitLocker, you may be able to use a recovery key. If you're using VeraCrypt, you may be able to just use the password that you already know. But the bottom line is that it's not as simple as just plugging the drive into a machine and having it work. If the drive itself is damaged, if that's what's causing you problems in the first place, well, none of this is fixing the drive, right? All of this is giving you alternate ways of hopefully getting access to what's on the drive. But if the reason that the machine it came from isn't working is because the drive itself has failed, once again, you may not be able to get at the data. This may be one of those cases where either data recovery tools like Recover or a data recovery service might be something that you'd call into play if the data is worth enough, because the recovery services, of course, are going to cost you money. And finally, if the drive is part of a RAID array, then you're probably screwed. And I say that because for 2 reasons. One, depending on the configuration of the RAID array, the drive may only have part of the data, right? One of the things that RAID can do is distribute the data across multiple drives. It could be replicating data across multiple drives. It could be doing all sorts of interesting things in the name of resiliency and speed. However, even if you got lucky and the drive was, say, a drive used, I think, in RAID 0, where everything is just mirrored, then you're still out of luck because most RAID controllers use their own format, which means that Windows can't understand what's on that drive. The only way to get what's on that drive off of it is to use the exact same RAID controller and presumably the other disks that may have been installed at the same time. So those are the kinds of things that can get in your way. Now, this would not be Ask Leo if I didn't say that you can completely prevent ever needing to do any of this by backing up. If you were simply backing up that machine on a regular basis, daily, for example, then the hard drive could explode and you wouldn't care because you'd have a recent backup of what it is that was stored on that machine, and it wouldn't matter that you couldn't get at it later. So definitely do back things up. Make sure you're in a position where you never really need this for yourself. I totally understand that we are sometimes the tech support for our friends and our family, and they may not have gotten the backing up religion. So you may still end up finding yourself in this kind of a position, trying to recover data from a disk that's having problems. Use this as an opportunity to spread the word. Have them start backing up and explain to them exactly how much they've risked by not backing up. Because, like I said, there are definitely scenarios where you may not be able to recover the information off of that hard disk. Hope that was helpful. For updates, for comments, for related links and more, visit askleo.com/1.
How do 0% intro balance transfer credit cards work?
I'm in our computer room today and the lighting is not that great, but that's okay because today I'm doing a tutorial for anyone who has built a new PC and has an old PC and wants to take the stuff on the old PC and move it to the new PC. How should you go about doing that, and what are my recommendations? Just a little over a month ago, I built a brand new PC for my lovely wife, Diana. It's still out in the garage and I've been itching to move it in here and swap her old PC, which was named Hotbox, which has gone through a few different variations over the years. I'll post a link to some of those videos in the description if you're interested. But how do you take everything from an existing PC and move it to a new PC? To keep things simple, I've boiled it down to 3 steps.
Excellent!
So the 3 things you're going to need to copy from your old system to the new system are 1, your personal data, your personal files, 2, your programs, and 3, your program settings or other files that those programs might rely on. The tools you'll need in order to do this are your old PC and your new PC, and I'm assuming that both of those are functional, up and running, Windows is installed, and it's up to date. Then you will need some sort of medium for transferring the data. An external USB flash drive or SSD or other external drive is ideal, and you might need more storage on that depending on how much data you have to back up off of your old system. And then you'll want an internet connection to download programs or other files that you might need, and of course to come back and reference this video. And then once you're done and everything has gone so smoothly, you can come back to this video and hit the thumbs up button or subscribe to my channel if you want to see more tech videos and tutorials. Before you start copying files, you should double check your existing computer's configuration, specifically the storage configuration. Because if you have an old PC and a new PC and they both function independent of one another, then all you're really concerned about is the data on the old PC, and where that data is located is going to be on your storage drives. You're going to have at least 1 storage drive, and if you're running Windows 7 or 10 or 11 is probably most likely right now, then it's probably labeled as local disk and it's probably your C drive. Now, if you've just got that C drive, it simplifies things a little bit. I have a second 1 terabyte SSD on this system, but I know all that's on there right now is this games folder, and then I'm capturing my OBS screen cap for making this video on that drive as well. One nice thing about having a secondary drive, especially if it's one that has a lot of space, is you can just copy stuff directly to that drive and physically remove the drive from your old system and then just install it in your new system and keep using things as is. That is what my plan is for today, so I'm just making a folder in here for backing all this stuff up called March 2022 Backup. And note that if I was using an external drive or an SSD and I had plugged it into the system, it would be popping up as another drive just like this. So functionally, from what you guys are seeing, it's going to be the same as if you were using an external. Beyond that, everything else you can see as far as the data represented on the system is stored on this C drive. That includes everything that might be on the desktop, and that also includes all these system folders like the documents folder, the downloads folder, music, pictures, and videos if you use those. One thing you might want to double check for all these folders is if you right-click them and go to Properties, you can go to Location. This location can actually be remapped, although someone would have to have done that with your PC. So if someone else set up your system or you're just not sure, double check to make sure these locations are on the C drive. And that will allow you to make sure that you don't have any files that are on another drive that's on the system that you're forgetting to back up. With that said, now that we have a drive to back up to, and we've made a little backup folder here, we can start copying the first thing, which is going to be personal data. And that means files that are unique to you, typically things that are irreplaceable, like personal photos. You should always ideally have already backed up in more than one location. I always try to copy photos to at least an external drive, if not cloud storage somewhere, or even better, like a family member's house that you share data with that you can sync back and forth to, so you both have backups in both locations. But these are files that you cannot just re-download from the internet, so let's back those up first. And since this is not my PC, it's my wife's PC, I'm not going to do a whole lot of organization for her. I'll leave that up to her in the future. So in the backup folder, I'll make a folder for desktop, one for downloads, one for pictures, and so on. And then we can just start copying. Okay, I am at least going to organize photos, but do bear in mind, if you're doing what I'm doing and dragging and dropping, there's two ways to do it. You can just drag and drop, and if you drag and drop with the left click from one drive to a different drive, it will copy from one drive to the other, and it will leave the files on the original drive. You can also right-click and drag over like this, and here you can choose Move, and I find that this helps me keep track of the backup process, although it should be noted that this does mean we're still only keeping these files in one location. So I'm only doing this because I know these files are backed up elsewhere already. We'll just choose Move, but this means that it's going to pull it off of the desktop and into that folder, and then I know, oh, well, it's not on the desktop anymore, so I've copied that and backed it up. Japan. Oh, see, there's some files that they're just too precious to leave behind, obviously. Oh, some more pictures from the desktop. Move. All right, and now our desktop folder is empty. Although if we look at the desktop, we can see there's still stuff on the desktop. These are all shortcuts. If you're not familiar with shortcuts, they have a little arrow on them. And that's not a real file, it's just a shortcut. It's a representation of where a file is elsewhere on the PC. So these you can typically just trash. I'm going to leave that one there as a reminder. So we've cleared off the desktop, and we'd also, of course, want to look at pictures and videos. And this is where usually most of your personal data files would be stored. We have network-attached storage, the FreeNAS build that I have built and rebuilt a few different times. So most of the photos that we copy off of phones or cameras, we copy over to that for a little bit more secure long-term backup storage, which is why the videos folder and the pictures folders on this computer are pretty much empty. From there, you'll definitely want to check out the documents folder, and here's where also lots of different programs like to save stuff. So feel free to check individual folders. A lot of them, you know,
recovery. Reg. Wow.
At Elite Gamer, we can't stand lag. We made it our mission to get you gaming.
And okay, guys, and now I will go through the situation where our MFT file is fragmented. Actually, this is an example how you can carve any fragmented file using the chain of the run list that is obtainable from the data attribute of master file table. So for this demonstration, actually, I will use our virtual machine that we are working. So this System Forensic Fall 7-zip, if you download it and unzip, you will get to the you will have all the VMDK files. Basically, we can attach the VMDK files as an image to our Access data. So if we go at evidence item, an image file, and basically I will browse for the directory where I have extracted this virtual machine. And this is System Forensic Fall, and here I will take this
Wow.
Anyone going through a natural disaster, it's always going to be hard to understand.
Wow.
Hello, Windows Universe. In this video, we will talk about if you're receiving recovery drive is full message and how to free up space in Windows. For a more in-depth look at the topic, we will link an article in the description down below. Let's try to hide or remove the recovery drive from File Explorer. One of the best ways to avoid the recovery drive full warning is to remove the drive letter from File Explorer. This will not delete the drive or its data. It will only remove the drive letter. To do this, let's open a run box and type in diskmgmt.msc and click OK. Locate the drive number that you want to remove from the list. Left click on it to highlight it. Right click on it and choose Change Drive Letter and Paths. In the new window that pops open, click the Remove button to remove the drive letter from the Windows File Explorer. You'll get a warning that some programs that rely on drive letters may not run correctly, and are you sure you want to remove this drive letter? Click Yes, and if you go to the File Explorer, you should see that that particular drive is now missing. Extending the recovery partition is the best and a safe way to clear the load disk space warning from your system. You can easily increase the space of the recovery partition with the help of the built-in disk management utility. Open a run box by typing Windows and R. Type in COMP-MGMT.MSC and click OK. Select Disk Management under Storage. Right-click on the recovery partition and choose to extend the volume. This will launch the Extend Volume wizard, where you can select the disk and for where the space can be taken. Select it and click to add it. Then fill in the final size and click Next. It will go through a long process to clear out physical space and then add it to the recovery partition. That said, you should know that if you want to extend partition space, you need to free space on the same disk. Even if you have enough space on the second disk, it is impossible to extend or add a partition. If it is absolutely necessary, you can use the shrink volume feature to free up some space next to the recovery and then merge or extend the partition. You can also disable system protection. To avoid load disk space on the recovery drive warning of Windows, you can disable the system protection. To do this, let's open System Restore. When it appears under Protection Settings, find the image that you're after and select Configure. This will review the system protection for the selected drives, and you have a couple options to recover space. Disable system protection will reduce the amount of space allocated and delete all restore points. Now, system restore is not needed for recovery partition, so you can choose to disable it. And make sure that you delete the existing restore points for this particular drive. Once again, it's not needed. Whenever your recovery drive runs out of space, you can run the built-in cleanup program to scan the drive and delete unnecessary programs. So let's open a run box and type in CLEANMGR and click OK. Select the drive from the drop-down menu and click OK.
With Linode, your team can more efficiently build web, mobile, database.
So you're opening up your disk management and you look in your C drive here, this main disk has this weird recovery partition. You're like, wait a second, I didn't make a recovery partition. What is that? Well, that's what this video is about. It's called Reagent C. It's a great utility that I think every Windows user should know about because it will help you recover your system in case something bad happens. But inevitably, sometimes it gets corrupted, it breaks, or let's say you're a silly user and you're just like, hey, I delete this partition using like, gparted or some other partitioning tool and get rid of it. You want it back after you figure out, hey, this is a good thing to have on every system. Now, I will take a couple shots at Windows. It wouldn't be me making a Microsoft Windows video if I didn't take a couple shots. I hate the fact they toss it at the end of the drive. I will say that it always has to be at the end of the drive. I've never seen a working Reagent C partition at the start of the drive. Obviously, at the very beginning, that's your boot partition. Then the meat and potatoes of the drive's actually in the middle. I think the reason why they do that is because if you don't have enough space for recovery partition, it's pretty easy to get into here and shrink your existing C partition to add like a gig. I would say if you're going to do this and you're going to make the recovery partition using this guide, take about a gig off of your C drive and just shrink at the very end of the space. What that would look like is we would shrink this by a gig and we give that to the recovery partition. But in this instance, we don't have to because it's already here. We'll pull up our PowerShell. Oh, wait a second. I haven't made my PowerShell good. I'm going to just run my script real fast. We're going to make this a little prettier. And I'm just going to clone this. If you're interested in this, I did make a how-to article. And also, I made a video on the last one. But having said that, I'm going to do it real quick. So now that we have our prettier PowerShell, let's get into looking at the partitions in here and Reagent C recovery. For this, we need to use something called diskpart. Now, you could do this from recovery media. You can do it from a lot of different ways. But today, we're just going to use PowerShell, launch into what's called diskpart. I'm going to make this a little bigger. Okay, now that we have diskpart open, we're going to first list our disks. So we'll do list disk. Okay, what do we have here? I obviously have a lot of hard disks in this system. You're probably only going to see one, maybe two. I just so happen to have 7. First, we need to figure out which disk number this is. Look back at our disk management and just click on the C drive. It usually takes you down. It says disk 5. That's a 232. Disk 5, 232. And this free 1024. Okay, that's perfect. That's exactly what we have. As usually Windows drives, especially main drives.
All right, who's here? Or is that you back, Mary? Or hey, Sly? I think Mary left. She said she was gonna go get coffee, and then it went to zero. So I don't know. How you doing today, Sly? Good to see you. I'm trying to find different ways I can either improve my computer or upgrade it or something. I know it's gonna quit here pretty soon, and I can't really afford to get another computer, so trying to figure out ways I can work around it. My biggest problem is I haven't done anything on computers in like 20 years, so digging the cobwebs out is rather challenging at this moment in time. But I really apologize for not letting you know I was having a birthday stream or whatever. I thought I said something to you, but I seen I didn't, and I apologize. I wasn't trying to leave you out or anything. I have a long time ago. The only problem with that is you lose everything that's on your system. Some of that isn't too bad. There's other things I think I don't really want to lose. So I don't know. I'm going to try to get a hold of my son and see if he'll help me figure something out. He's been, stayed more into working on computers and stuff. I guess he told me he's made like 12 computers in the last 3 months for 12 different people. So I'm hoping he might be able to help me. My problem is I'm not sure how it happened, but I got a 1 terabyte hard drive, but part of it's partitioned for my recovery drive. So, like if something happens, I can use that recovery drive to start out brand new, basically. Well, the problem is my recovery drive is almost 40% fragmented, and I can't defrag it. So I'm thinking that could be the problem why sometimes my computer's shutting off, is because I think my hard drive might be getting ready to go out. And then also when I turn it on, sometimes it doesn't boot up. I have to turn it off again and turn it on again, and then it will boot up. So therefore I'm thinking, like I said before, my hard drive's starting to go. My computer's at least 10 years old. So I don't know. Yeah, but the problem is I don't have anything to back up on, too. I only have the 1 hard drive. I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe your diagnostic only does your C drive, not your recovery. Oh, Sly got some computer knowledge here. Uh-huh. Riley, little rascal, aren't you? Do you know if you can do a diagnostics on your recovery? And if you can, how by chance? I kind of wish I had a separate drive for my recovery, and then it wouldn't affect, my system, I believe. I'm not sure how the recovery drive got fragmented to begin with. It seems kind of weird. Because as far as I know, that part of the partition should be totally protected from basically rewriting on that partition. Well, it sounds like you know about enough to get in trouble with. Ha ha. Yeah, I got to give you a bad time, girl. That's my problem, is I forgot more than I did know. And I know enough now to just, I feel, get me in trouble. How to defrag my recovery drive. That's what I've been doing on YouTube, but I'm not really seeing too much. Live streaming is pretty easy, especially through StreamYard. I'm not sure though, like, my biggest problem is I was trying to live stream right to YouTube at first. I didn't know you had to use StreamYard, and I couldn't get my camera to work at first. I tried using my graphics card. I know my graphics card has different ways of, streaming and broadcasting and copying my screen and different things like that. I could kind of get it to work in there. I couldn't get it to work in YouTube at all for a long time until I downloaded that OBS. But then I figured some other things out, so I'm not even sure if I actually need the OBS to broadcast or not. That's what I kind of figured out is, yeah, you can, after I got it to work, I could go live, but I couldn't have guests. Did I watch what broadcast yesterday? It says we got 2 people now. So which broadcast are you wondering if I watched? Okay, no, I didn't. Oh, I think yesterday I was pretty busy. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I believe I might have watched a little bit of it. I don't remember if it was yesterday or the day before. Yesterday, I bought a new graphics card beginning of the month. And then my son gave me a graphics card a couple weeks later, and it was the exact same card that I bought, which I thought was kind of weird. So yesterday we went to Best Buy to return it. It'd been just a little over 2 weeks, and I was going to use the money that I got from that to get some dog food and stuff, because I was getting low on dog food. And they said it was past their time to give me my money back, so they would have to give me a fuck, what was I saying? Like I just brain farted. You mean last night? No, as far as, if you'd like, okay, here's where I'm coming from. If you'd like me to tell you every time I come on, I will. I just kind of feel like I'm kind of bugging you. You know, you've got other places and other people you watch too. I know you've told me about, you know, you don't get all your notifications or whatever, but I usually tell you, you know, when I'm coming on in the mornings, because I know you're up and there ain't many other people up at that time. But I just kind of feel like I'm, I guess, pestering you. I guess kind of like begging you, you know, come be with me or whatever. I don't know. It's my silly thinking. Full credit. Okay, I'm not sure what that was pertaining to, but right, but do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like I said, if you'd like me to text you every time, I will. I just thinking silly, I guess, just thinking, you know, I was bugging you because I didn't want to make you feel like, I guess I'm more important than anybody else type thing or something. I don't know, just stupid, silly thinking. And I apologize. But like I said, if you'd like me to give you, yeah, they gave me store credit. That's right. Oh my God. So yeah, we went there to take it back and they gave me store credit, which was almost $300. So we looked around at some like motherboards because I was wanting to upgrade, but they didn't have any combo systems where you get the motherboard and processor, and I don't know what board my processor that I have already will work, and yada yada yada. And I don't know, it was just a big mess. So that kind of, I guess, threw my demeanor off yesterday. And so like last night when I came on, I wanted to go on live, but I don't know, I just wasn't really kind of into it. We don't pay taxes here. All right, then I'll text you every time I go live then. And I won't feel like I'm bugging you. Thank you for letting me know that. I do appreciate you, Sly. Damn, where did that come from? Wow. Whew. No, I haven't done no link. Oh my God. give me a second. Oh, fuck. Oh my God. There you go. Wow. I don't know what the hell. Hey man, how you doing?
How are you doing? I asked first, Larry. Dang it.
I was doing awesome, but all of a sudden I just got really emotional.
It's all good. We all get emotional at times.
I love you guys so much. You guys have helped me so much. And it feels good to know that people want to see you and be with you. And
Dude, it's good to see you. I can't see you right now, but I know you're there. I can hear you. I can feel your
my
presence.
God. Oh, there you go, asshole. How's that?
How's this?
Oh, that looks fucking awesome. You know I think what's really cool about that is the beard gets proportionate for her. Like on you, your beard's a lot bigger and longer. On her, it's shorter and it fits her face just perfect. It's, proportionate to her head. It's pretty cool. Thank you. I needed that. I needed to see the child cheer me up, definitely.
I kind of had a feeling. I came in here. I was like, oh, man, you're all alone.
No, we got mice. Sly here. I've been talking to Sly. She kind of slapped me around a little bit, which I needed. Sly. Sly. She don't hold no punches.
Nah, man. And when she tells you something, she means it.
Yeah, that's what I love about her.
So when she says she cares, she does care, and she's proven it, time after time.
Yeah, and that's harder, I'll say, nowadays to find people that, mean what they say and live what they say. Oh, man. Wow. That came on quick.
Hi. Say hi to everybody. Yeah, you got
I don't know if you can see this, but I want to show you something that's kind of weird. I don't think I can. Damn it, my cord ain't long enough.
Sly, that's me trying to protect everyone. You know what I'm saying? Trying to protect her. I got this. If I can
you see that? You can kind of see that bottom screen, and you see that light, that bright light.
Yeah, what is that?
Well, it's weird. If we park her car in a certain spot, it looks like the car is basically on fire. And we've had to move it a few times because it just tripped us out too much, making the car look like it was on fire, even though we knew it wasn't on fire. And I think what's happening is my security cam is shining on the car, which is reflecting back to the trailer, which is going back to the car, so it makes it do that. It's just really weird. Aww.
Yeah, you gotta fix those cameras, Larry. You can't be looking at it thinking it's on fire. I mean, that'll jumpstart the heart, man.
Well, what we end up doing usually is we end up moving the car just because it freaks us out too much. But last night we're like, this is like the 8th or 9th time it's done it, and we know it's not on fire, so we just left it last night. We were too tired. Uh-oh. Here comes Wolf Lady. Now we're in trouble.
Sly is saying everybody knows it's me, but it's not about me. It's not me. It's I tried not to put my daughter's face all over. I'm trying to make it so, like, you know, trying to be a little more responsible, I guess. I don't know. I listen to people too much, you know. Nobody's gonna know who my daughter is. She's almost 10 months old. You know, by the time she's 2 years old, she's gonna look 100% different.
Yeah.
She's trying to say something about dad.
That's cool.
For the longest
think
time,
it's-
Larry, she wouldn't say anything about dad. It was always mama, and I was getting jealous.
Yeah, we kind of get that way. It's funny, and we kind of, competition on, if they say mom or dad first, and I think it's funny that some ways, that we do that stuff.
It's a beautiful life we live, sir. And how are you doing today, miss?
Don't know yet.
Just woke up.
Just woke up. It's still pending.
I understand. I understand that.
What's funny is you said that your baby was saying mom, 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 mom. Little Maverick said that has been saying dad, 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 dad. And he even said na, 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 and I go by Nana. So
like that.
And she's not as happy because she is literally with that baby 724.
On my tobacco tray.
I changed my name because I don't have the bread face anymore, so I'm Gray Beaver the Great.
There you go.
If it's yellow, it's white. That's my abuse problem. Every now and then. Oh, God. How's everybody else this morning? Oh, Mary's gone or whoever. Sly. Hi, Sly.
I got chewed out.
Why?
Because I forgot to invite her to our birthday stream.
She doesn't get alerts?
She's got too many alerts, so she keeps them off.
Oh, shit. Okay. Sorry, Sly. I didn't know.
You look like an old hippie.
Who, me?
No, Moose.
Oh.
Yeah. That's how it's supposed to be, man.
That one is pretty cool. We didn't find that one on that thing yesterday.
Oh,
it's called Old Bread. Old Bread.
Old Bread, okay.
It's kind of weird because I can get that program to work on my camera, but as soon as I come to StreamYard won't let me use that program or something. I don't know. It's weird.
Don't know.
I don't understand because when I hit settings, right, and I see my camera, and it says GoPro, integrated camera, OBS virtual camera, and then it says Snap camera. So I click on Snap camera, and it automatically does it.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, I don't see. Is that options like in a line, and then it has an arrow, and it gives you those choices?
I might have to show you, and I might have to go. I'm gonna go live today, I think, and come back. I might make a resurrection.
Yeah.
I'm getting kind of. I got news in my brain, and I got all this new stuff coming up, and people were talking flat Earth last night and globe Earth, and
He does pay for StreamYard. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he pays for StreamYard. I paid, right before I quit. It was the last day of the month, and I canceled all my accounts, but they still charged me. So I still got like 20 days left of StreamYard, so I might as well use it.
Hey, what's going on, dude?
Yeah, you may as well.
What's going on, dude?
You trying to climb?
It's a bit the baby girl.
Yeah, she's tough.
You gotta be. Hey there, girly. Hi there, girly. Hi there, girl.
She's tripping out, dude. She's looking at it. And she's like, "What is this?"
What the
Hi,
hell?
big girl.
That is funny shit.
That's funny. Aw,
That looks
pretty
like a
girl.
very warm blanket.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It gets cold down here. It's it's the desert, so. See,
So it
Slide,
gets
this
real
is the whole
hot and real
point of it,
cold.
is to have her have the beard so you can't tell who she is. It's not about me.
So you getting that spot cleared out for my trailer to come down there?
I got a spot ready for you.
That's cool.
She's just learning how to wave. Wave. Say hi.
Hi.
Yeah,
Oh, throw up a peace symbol. Come on. Do it again.
Come on, baby girl. Say hi.
Look at that smile.
Say hi.
Oh,
There
she's
we
reaching
go.
for you. She's
There we
reaching
go.
for you. That's cool.
There you go, baby girls. There you go.
You can tell she's smiling too.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Tell her
I
what
love
you think.
babies. I love kids. It's just when they're disrespectful. I guess it's the same way with adults, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're dealing with that all around. Dealing with that
Well,
all around.
With adults, there's an assumption that they know how to behave or they know how to be respectful.
I would say it's the opposite now, though. People actually, especially with the internet, because everybody's anonymous and stuff. So it's like people will be more disrespectful and less respectful just because they think, nobody knows who they are, nobody cares, and
Plus,
it's sad.
basically, you can be whoever you want to be on the internet. Like I knew this one girl that she thought for sure this famous actor was all in love with her, and I'm like, dude, if you really believe that this famous actor's in love with you, you need to wake the fuck up, 'Cause it
Whoa,
was just-
Larry! I know it's your stream, but
Boom.
if she starts using this language against me, Larry, I'm gonna get in trouble with my wife. I'm just playing, man. Be
Oh, I
yourself,
know.
brother.
I know. But
Look
yeah,
at
it was
Sly, I
pretty
had it with my
funny.
beard.
Uh-huh. There you go. Uh-huh. Silly. Silly daddy. Look, she's peeking right between that little.
Her mouth.
It's funny because she can still see. I have nothing in front of her. It's just the angle of my head.
Yeah.
She's cranky, folks. She's cranky. She's,
Well, to me, she doesn't look cranky. She just looks like
she's a little whiny.
she wants to play with the keyboard, and I don't want her to touch it because every.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's why you don't want her to touch it.
Yeah.
Did she hit the escape button? Back up. Oh, yeah. Moose froze.
I'll fix it for you, Dad.
See what I mean? Things start closing, things start crashing.
It's all right.
Hey, that's half the fun, right?
There we go. Right on Daddy's shoulders.
I love the noises babies makes. She wants Anna.
Yes, she does. I wish I could hold her. Pretty babies. Aww. Oh, she's so sweet.
Hey, have you guys seen that new Top Gun movie yet?
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh. Last night we said, because we bought a projector 2 years ago, and we were going to do a movie night since there's a lot of people here, and we never used it, right? So the past week I've been setting up the sound and setting up everything. Last night we watched it. Dude, it was like a movie theater we set up, and that's a good movie. It's not the best movie in the world, but it's good. It's got a little action, got a little love in it, but I
Did
was
you
just
use a screen to project it on, or did you use like a side of a building?
we just used the side of his one of our neighbors' houses, and
Yeah.
even on the house it has that paint and the stucco or whatever, so it kind of
Yeah.
doesn't, it's not flat. But
Right.
when it's dark, you can't even tell. I mean,
Right.
once you get into the movie, it's like it was so amazing. I felt like I'd been in the movie theater, and I haven't been in like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. How big was the side of the wall that it was on?
At least like an 80-inch screen or bigger.
Well, that's
Wow, that's great.
It was so freaking cool, man. And everybody was like had popcorn, and people like baked cookies and stuff. And
That's cool.
Our neighbor even brought over have you ever been to a restaurant and they had those heaters outside that look like a little umbrella? Yeah, he brought that over, and so all the girls sat around that, and they all stayed warm, and the rest of us brought blankets, and it was so fun.
Dude, if more neighborhoods did that kind of shit, the world would be such a better place. And that's the way I've always feel is like, if I can help you today and you help somebody else tomorrow, and the world's got to be a better place,
I agree, dude. That's why I'm going out of my way to try to bring these people together, because when I first moved down here, that's how it was. Like I didn't have to go do the work. Like there was other people that did the work, and they were bringing us together. But this year, they told me straight up, they said, if you would have never put in the work to do this, we would never have come together. We haven't done one event since you guys got here. We've done 2 events. So I don't know. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm just saying, if you put the work in, people will come.
Well, it sometimes just we get caught up in our lives, and we need a little push in a productive way to get back to unity, community. Growing with each other, and help. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. How can things not be better overall?
And yeah, it was 2 hours of fun, and people are going to say, well, you're wasting your time on fun. Well, it's like, nah, man, this is a team building exercise.
Yeah, it is. It's not waste of time, I don't believe. And even if,
if you're growing emotionally, spiritually, communicatively, how can it be a waste of time?
And there's nothing wrong with fun. There's nothing wrong with blowing off some steam and sitting back and relaxing for a little bit.
Yeah. Instead of everybody just meeting
Like
for
I said, if you're growing, as a community and everything else, how could it be a waste of time?
Totally true.
Yeah, my dad's best friend Tony, he still lives in California. My parents moved out of there, but they every Halloween they block off this one cul-de-sac, and they do that. They turn on Halloween movies for everybody to see. There's chairs for people to sit at, and each one of those people bring something. The hot apple cider, the wassail, or whatever, the candy and everything. And it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat that they do that. I always thought it was pretty cool. Are you frozen again? Yep. She hit that escape button. Woo! Yeah, now we're getting some noises. You're muted.
It's true. And I owe it all to you.
Oh, how silly. That's fun.
And you know, people that like to bake and stuff, or like to cook for others, and you know, when you give them an opportunity, I honestly feel like maybe that heals a part of them too. It makes them feel good because they can bring what they've made and share it with other people, and I think that's what makes everything so beautiful.
Oh, Sly, are you still here? I wanted to let you guys know something. We got 2 people, it says, so she should be here.
Dada.
That's
It's
cool.
you.
Me and Mary were talking yesterday. What we're thinking about doing is on like Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we pick a topic and we like share videos and whatever that topic's about, and like pick one topic for the whole week. Then that way we got enough time to discuss on whatever that topic is. And we're thinking about doing it like in the afternoon, because usually there's not too many people up at my 100, so it'll be probably like my afternoon broadcast or evening broadcast, and like we'll have a topic on gardening or topic on herbal use, or we'll pick out one topic to discuss, and then like schedule it before, a couple hours before you're actually going to do it, and put it out there so people know that you're talking about gardening or whatever. So we thought that would bring more people to the channel that way.
Unfortunately, I got to go take care of some baby duties. I'll be back.
All right, man. Don't be no unfortunate. No unfortunate. That's for damn sure. So what do you think about my idea there, Sly?
Yes.
No, that was to let us know she was here.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to put my hands in gloves. My skin's all spiky.
Did you use my stuff?
Yeah.
That stuff I think works pretty damn good.
It does work really good.
I was surprised. Because usually they'll tell you, this is going to do this, that, and the other, like you use this and all your problems are going to be taken care of type thing. And 9 times out of 10, it ain't that way at all.
Yeah.
But this stuff, I think pretty much, it's no miracle thing, but it does work pretty damn good.
Come on. There.
We all get together on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Like Monday, I'm going to try to pick a topic for this coming Monday, and it'll be probably an afternoon show. Let's say we pick gardening or whatever. And then, so Monday afternoon or evening time, I'll pick a video on gardening or whatever the topic is we want to talk about. And I'll show a video, and then we'll talk about what, that person said and what we think and how we garden and all that. So it gives us a topic to talk about. And I'll schedule, like, say if I want the show to start at 4 o'clock or something, and, at noon I'll put at 4 o'clock we're going to discuss gardening. So then that will get out. And then more people will see that, we're going to be talking about gardening or whatever. So that'll attract more people to the channel, I thought. And we'll have one topic a week. And like I said, it'll be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then that will leave Tuesday and Thursday just for open discussion. We got 3 people,
Cool.
It says. Gray Beaver. And he comes up with all these fucking weird names.
I know, it's silly. Gray Beaver something. Oh, the Great. Uh-huh. And my idea or my thought on that is that if 3 days a week is too much to discuss one subject, then we can switch it to the 2 days, the other 2 days. Or something.
I think, though, like I said, I think, because almost any topic, you're going to have, you know, especially the more people you get, the more different points of view you're going to have.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's why I thought, you know, pick like one topic for the whole week. And then that, because if you say one day, let's just say you say a day, but then in that day, you're still got a bunch of shit you want or need to talk about.
Yeah.
And you've already scheduled something for the Wednesday.
Yeah.
Then that kind of like people thinking, well, I still wanted to talk about this. I mean, it can always be up, like if we pick a subject and nobody has something to talk about, we could come up with something on the fly, you know.
Yep. You're right. Sounds good. Sounds really good. Yeah.
Mary was here this morning chatting, and she said she was going to go get some coffee, and she got booted or something and never came back.
What?
As far as I know.
I don't know. Life has a way of getting in there. 7:30.
So I'm not sure, but remember that guy said that we needed, he was thinking that I was going to take my processor out and put it in a new board.
No.
But I didn't know what my chipset was.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm pretty sure this is my chipset is a 6120. And it's this AMD 6120 6-core 3.5 gigahertz.
Okay.
And I'm thinking maybe I don't see why this processor wouldn't be good enough to do what I need to do, is basically what I'm saying.
It should. Just might be really old.
Well, though I know one problem with the motherboard I have, there's no, whatever settings, the settings are there. You have no way of really, you know, like Joe was saying, go into my settings and change the curve of my fan and stuff. I can't do that. I can't make my hard drive boot quicker. I can't make my processor go faster. I can't make anything do anything, basically. And on other motherboards, they have those options. Where you can like overclock your processor or overclock your GPU or whatever.
Yeah. That's because they're newer and they have.
And I thought of what we should have looked at yesterday.
What?
Hard drive. Because that's what I think actually is probably going in my computer. And I really believe that's, I mean, it could have been overheating, but I don't think so. Because like I said, every time I looked at it, it said it was like in the 90s or something, which that's really nothing, you know. But anyway, I'm thinking it's more the hard drive. And the computer's going, you know, running, and all of a sudden the hard drive goes, you know,
Yeah.
I'm starting to fail or whatever's glitching. And then once it glitches, the computer goes, well, wait a minute, I can't do anything because I have no information. So it shuts itself off. And that's why I think like when we turn it on sometimes, it doesn't boot up because it hasn't woke up that hard drive.
Okay.
Because, and when we see the spinning on the TVs, the hard drive booting up.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
going to the boot up program to go to Windows to do whatever.
Yeah. I don't know anymore about things on computers.
That's why I was telling Sly, I said, I used to be pretty good, but I've been out of it for so long.
Yeah.
Forgot more than I knew. Were basically
Yeah. No, there's
getting the cobwebs out are pretty hard.
they are, but my thing is you could get, you know, an equivalent, like you said, to that, to the current processor you have, or whatever, that, you know, the new ones tell you all that information or does all that stuff you can do with it. Whereas before it was hard set. It's like, oh, this is what it does.
Yeah.
So, yeah, things have definitely launched forward in the world of computers. We have 3 people. Morning, everybody. Oh.
Kind of funny that shirt on the camera looks like pajamas.
Yeah.
On your here it doesn't, but on because you can only see the top of it.
Yeah. No, it's a regular shirt.
I wonder how do you get rid of those names? No, that's showing. You did it once before.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, you changed it back to classic?
Yeah, the only difference is it makes this a square or a bubble type.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get rid of our names on our screens?
There is a. I can't see it right now because I'm not an admin, but there's a layout. Click the layout button.
I don't have a layout button.
Yeah, on StreamYard. There's a it says layout. Which
On the bottom, I got mic, cam settings, present, invite, and leave studio. On the side, I got comments, banner, brand, and private chat, and that's it.
Let me log. I'm gonna log in mine real fast.
I wonder if it has to do with.
Yeah, you can just delete it.
But then there'll just be a blank box there.
No, there's a way that you can change the layout of us. Like you can make it so your solo layout. You can make
Yeah,
it.
we know that.
No, but I want to get rid of our names that are on our screen.
That's how you do it. Click the other boxes. Just play with it for a second, and you'll figure out which button does it.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, layout.
No.
Click all of them.
Yeah, you're lots of help.
No, I'm serious. Go to the little layout thing and click on.
To show, I don't know what that means.
Close it out. He's talking about clicking on all the boxes.
Click those.
I mean.
Oh, you mean these? That isn't going to get
Yeah,
rid
that
of this.
doesn't help us at all.
Keep going. Keep going.
I'm on the last one.
But you didn't click any others.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't
Keep
get rid
going.
of that little.
Keep going. Keep going. There should be one that takes away our names. I'm gonna open up mine. And I'm gonna see what's going on.
You can drop the box. How? I think it's in the. Wouldn't it be in the bubble thing? Where's that?
Yeah.
Here.
Show display names right there.
There we go.
That was so simple. It was
There you
ridiculous.
go. See, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. It's been so long.
Yeah, it was where the brand was or the banner, one or the other.
No,
I think it was
band.
where brand is, and then it says, theme and different types, and then
Below it, there's a switch that said display names.
show display names. So we figured it. Guys,
Rah,
I'm gonna
rah,
get down
rah,
to one
rah,
minute.
All right,
I don't think I was ready to get up yet. I'll
Me
see you
neither.
guys later.
Can we do
Later, Anna.
What?
that, Bill?
I woke up this morning. I woke up to my daughter headbutting me. She rolled off my wife and straight up cracked me in the head, and that's how I woke up.
Trying to wake you up to knock you back out, huh?
It was I was shocked. I didn't know what happened. Like it was like crack, and I'm like, what's going on?
Dry. I don't know. My hair is real dry too. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, my hair feels real dry too.
My head isn't, but my beard is. Oh man, she made these. What are they? Enchiladas.
The chicken and cheese enchiladas.
Yeah, she made chicken cheese enchiladas last night. Oh, dude, they were the fucking bomb. Homemade.
Oh man, I'm hungry now.
She used a whole pound of cheese.
Dang.
Yeah.
Fucking cheesy enchiladas right there, baby.
That's some good damn shit.
I'm getting some ribs today.
We had ribs for my birthday.
How'd those turn out?
They were the bomb, too. It's kind of funny because the ribs actually kind of got, like, you know when you put ribs on a grill, how they get kind of charcoaly?
Oh, yeah.
And they got a little bit that way in the oven, and she goes, oh, I'm so sorry, they got charcoaly. And I'm like, that's what makes them good. I'm like, think about it. When you do it on the barbecue, they get charcoaly, and every time you go, oh, that's some good shit.
Yeah. Damn it. It's 8:30 in the morning, and I'm thinking about ribs right now.
That's some funny shit. Yeah, we got leftover.
I might have to go get carnitas, though. It is Saturday. Every Saturday, they at this place called Danny's Asadero, they have carnitas, and it's so good. You order it in a half kilo or a full kilo, and they bring it to the table, and then you have a platter of like onions and salsa, guacamole. Like, I mean, oh God, so good.
So when they call it a kilo, are they actually weighing it to a kilo? Because a kilo is like 2.5 pounds. Kilo is like 2.5 pounds, isn't it?
Yeah. When I go, I get a media kilo, which is half, and I eat every single drop of it. I'm sitting there scraping the bottom.
So that's like a pound, a little over a pound and a half.
Yeah, I think like a pound and a quarter, I think.
Yeah. Well, a pound and a half would be 3 pounds, and I think it's 3.5 for a kilo.
Let's see. I'm gonna look on Google. Let's see.
It's been so long since I've dealt in kilos, I don't really remember.
since back in your heyday when you're
Dude, I used to get 100-pound blocks.
1 kilo is 2.204623 pounds.
Oh, so it's a little less than I thought it was.
Yeah. I got a kilo of some lobster in the freezer too.
Right on.
600 pesos.
And then catch that right out in the ocean there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They have to dive at night to get the lobster.
Oh, they actually dive for it. They don't use a boat?
No, they take the boat out, and then they have the spots that they know, and they go diving for it.
So do they catch them with their hands or a net?
With their hands.
Damn, that's cool. There was this one river we used to go to and go there for picnics a lot. And this one guy I seen is a Mexican dude. He fucking caught this huge salmon. The thing must have been this long with his fucking hands right in the ocean. And at first when he grabbed it, he held it up. I thought it was dead. And I'm like thinking, why is he going to eat a dead fish? You know, because you could tell he was bringing it back to shore. And then all of a sudden the thing fucking started flopping around. I'm like, that son of a bitch caught that thing with his fucking hands. That shit ain't easy.
You should see some of these guys down here pulling in like 15-pound fish with their hands. They have they don't have fishing reels, some of them, and so they're just putting the line out with their hands, and they're wearing gloves. Dude, they're pulling in fish, 17 pounds with their hands.
That's what I'm saying this guy did, but he was just barehanded.
That's even more incredible, to just catch
Yeah.
a fish while it's swimming. Just
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, because those things are strong, and they're all fucking doing their fucking thing. And he held on to it like it was nothing. I mean, like I said, I swore the thing was dead at first because he just fucking and brought it up and he held it there for a while and it didn't fucking move until he held it up over his head and then it started fucking flopping around. I'm like, holy shit, that thing is alive. And he just held it there like it wasn't even flopping or nothing. It was pretty incredible.
Dun, dun, dun,
So do you know anybody that's a computer whiz?
I mean, I'm pretty good at computers, but not really like fixing them and stuff. I'm good at getting what you want online, like movies and stuff.
I've been really I was thinking about trying to upgrade my computer, but now I'm thinking I can't really afford it. So now I'm thinking of maybe taking my processor out of the board I have now and putting it into a better motherboard. Because I'm thinking my processor that I have, I should be able to do anything I want to do because I got a 6-core AMD 3.5 megahertz processor, which is actually not too bad. Pretty good.
I don't know. I
would think with 6 cores, I would be able to do anything I want to do. Ask Nude. Okay, I'll ask Nude. See what he has to say. Thank you, Sly. If I could remember to ask Nude.
Yeah, you got to take your clothes off around here if you want the real answer, Larry.
Well, that's too bad. I would like to keep you guys around, not scare you away.
Thank God for that. So I'd like to answer your question, though. The thing is all these cores and all that is part of the marketing bullshit, because it matters what generation it is. It matters if it's an i3, i5, i7, i9, and then the core.
Those letters just represent the different cores. But I think mine's a 3rd generation chip.
Yeah, so yours is a very, very old one. Like I'm on the 9th generation here on this one, but I have a computer behind me that used to be an amazing gaming computer, and it's got an i5 in it, and I tell you what, to boot the thing up, it takes like 2 minutes for it to do the boot, and I don't know, it's slower than dog shit, but I use it for. I'm not gonna say what I use it for. Not PORN. It's not PORN. It's it's a media machine. A media machine.
Right.
Not trying to incriminate myself on the internet.
Yeah, I got an AMD, and depending on the AMD and the one nice thing about AMD is it's usually a little cheaper to get, and for a long time, Intel, their processors were a lot better and a lot faster, but then it got to where AMD was slaughtering Intel for quite a few years. And Slide just told on you.
What?
Slide just told on you.
No, it's not. Actually, no, it's not, Sly. I wish it was, but actually I don't, because I don't know. I have a lot of mixed feelings about that, because I used to be a sex addict. Before I met my wife, I was dating 5 girls at the same time. They all knew it. It was a hollow existence, I use it for downloading movies down here.
I went through the same phase when I was younger, but then again, when I was younger, that was the way of life. You found a woman, you'd smoke a joint, you'd fuck and give each other a hug and go on your way and go on to the next one.
Yeah, and that, you know, if they're the ones that leave, you know, if they're the ones that leave or whatever and don't want to keep you around, then whatever. I mean, it's just it's a bond between two people. Some of them I wish never happened, you know. Now I'm tame and kind of tame. Larry, I haven't smoked in so long. It sucks.
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault, not anybody else's fault, but I would love to spark up a fat joint right now and just relax. That's Larry. Pull a joint out, a nut, and keep it moving. Get your nut on. Get your nut on.
That was the way lifestyle was back then, though. It was like, it was more, I think, more sex oriented, and there was no baggage around it. You just go have sex, you know, enjoy each other's sex, and go on to the next one. That's the way life was back in the 70s. You got to remember, it wasn't called free love for nothing.
That's true.
I look back at everything I've seen in my life, and I've lived through almost all of the big things that's happened in America. You know, Martin Luther King getting killed, JFK getting killed, you know, all the big headlines, I guess, if lack of better words, we'll call it. The moon, you know. I keep looking for that damn dial-up that they used to call the moon. I've been trying to get that thing because it seems to work pretty good. You sat there in Apollo 12? You there, Apollo 12? Oh, you're loud and clear. I got a copy on you, Apollo 12. Whatever the fuck it was. That was pretty funny shit, though. I never knew we had hardwire going out into space.
Dun, dun.
What are you looking at?
Oh, just looking at Reddit, looking at the microgrowery, looking at all these beautiful weed plants that I can't smoke.
Why are you going to torture yourself then?
I don't know. Getting some ideas for when I start growing again.
What are you thinking? Okay, let me try to word this properly. When you were smoking weed, how and what do you feel or believe it was hindering you, or why were you wanting to get off of it for a while or forever or whatever? I mean,
I'm not getting off of it forever, Larry. Don't get me wrong. When I crossed the border,
I'm trying to figure out, you know, where you're at in your life is all, and why you made those decisions, basically.
I'm really allergic to it now. After working in the industry for so long and being around the plants every day for 12, 14 hours a day. And so I'm highly allergic to it, and I have asthma.
So you're thinking you need to help your system repair itself for a little while and then go back? Is that what you're thinking? Or are you thinking to quit smoking it totally and just eating it?
I don't know what's happening. So when I cross the border, usually I have a lot of people down here. I've got family and friends. I'm connected or whatever. And this year there's some trouble going on down here, and I didn't bring any across the border because I got the wife and child. So
Right.
that's why I don't have it down here. But if I did have it, I'd probably smoke it. I do everything
It's
in
hard to believe you can't find it down there, though.
I could find it if I really want to. It's
Yeah.
just the problem with me is when I smoke one joint, I'm going to want another joint and another joint and another joint and another joint and another joint. I smoke like some of the people we know. You know, I sit there and I'm puffing all day long, and it's good to have a break. And then once I get back to it, I think it'll hit me a lot harder. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, see, that's one thing. Here's what I think. Okay, now don't take this the wrong way. I think what's happening with you, because you used to be into the harder drugs for a while, right?
Harder drugs, alcohol is my only real alcohol and marijuana. The only other drugs I've ever done, I've done LSD once, and I've done mushrooms like 10 times, 15 times.
Okay, well, even with the alcohol, what happens basically is you get into that routine, and you want to, be in that mind state at the whole time. And I think what's happening with you, and when you're smoking your weed, because you're saying you're constantly smoking, you're trying to achieve basically something you're never going to achieve. Like me, when I smoke, I'll take a dab and I'm good for most times, a couple hours. I can make a gram of dab last me like 2 to 3 days, which I think is pretty damn good. That one's funny. I wonder why the room moves though when you bring that one on.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is I had some issues that I'm working through, and once I get my mental issues worked on, it'll be good.
Well, I think, like I said, you might want to try going the edible route, but do the CBD more than the high thing, because the CBD will help you, like if you're pain and all that other stuff, more than the high thing.
Yeah, I'm not really like in that much pain anymore though, so
That's cool.
It's just about moderation. If I smoked in moderation, I'd be fine.
Right. Like Sly says, it's like you're not taking your time to enjoy it. It's just because you're smoking.
It's kind of like anything. Like I went and I got tacos 2 days in a row at the same place, right? And instead of enjoying my tacos, I ate them within 5 minutes. Like, I mean, I had 5 tacos and I just devoured it. But if I would have taken the time and just like enjoyed the taste, and I think I would have had more fun. Been more grateful for it, I guess.
Well, that's the thing. I think we're so used to mentality is everything's got to be now type thing, that like even in smoking and eating and everything, we're not just sitting back and enjoying it. We figure, we gotta always keep smoking, or we always gotta just slam this food down to get on to the next fix or whatever.
Yeah, and usually like I'm kind of a dumbass. Like instead of eating, like say it's 9 o'clock now, right? If I would eat now instead of waiting until 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I probably wouldn't be so damn hungry and scarf it down so fast.
Yeah. I only eat once a day, and that's usually dinner. And I've been doing that for 20, 30 years, and I never get sick.
Well, that's kind of how I am too. Is like I try to eat one meal a day, but the problem is my metabolism is so fast that I'm burning everything. You know, I'm not
Oh
eating
yeah,
enough.
well you're in your 30s and I'm in my 60s. So when I was 18, I went to this place. It was a buffet place. It was called Royal Fork, and I went back 18 times. I used to be my mom called me a walking garbage disposal.
That's what my mom called me. My dad would call me a. He said I had a hollow leg because he couldn't
Yeah.
figure out where all the food was going.
So how's Nubs doing this morning? Good to see you, man. I like the bee. That's pretty cute. And his lips moves and his eyebrows move and he blinks and shit. That's pretty cool. I wish I could get mine to work. Yeah, the bee fits you. See if he can frown. See if he'll frown. Or look mad. And mouth open. He
Nah,
can't look.
It fights it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's just a happy-go-lucky guy. He's like, fuck you, I ain't getting mad. I ain't getting angry. I'm just going to be Mr. Happy Sly. Yep, that's me. I'm Mr. Cool. Can you wink? Kinda. Do the smile wink. Now you're frozen. A happy bee. Yep, he's just a happy-go-lucky guy. He says, I can't be angry.
It's the happy bee. Sure. I'm gonna have some banana bread.
Oh, that sounds good. Homemade?
Yeah, homemade.
Oh my God, I haven't had homemade banana bread in fucking forever. That bee is cool too because it blacks out your whole background and everything.
Yeah, I like this one.
Yeah, that's from the Bee movie.
Let's see what else we got back here.
Oh shit. Oh, that is too good. Oh my God.
Come on, what are you doing?
Hey
What?
Chuck. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, but this one's my favorite.
That was funny too, yeah. It worked better when you just sat there, remember? That's when you just sat there and they just fell on it. Yeah, right there. There you go. No, they're not gonna fall on it. I didn't see him as an ape, I saw him as an alien.
There we go. Yeah.
That is funny shit. And now they fell off. You should get points for every one you get. Oh my gosh. What the fuck? His arms won't move or nothing. That's funny shit. I wish I could get mine to work.
Yeah, Larry. You got to get it working, man.
Yeah, it says no. available camera input device is unavailable or used by another application. Moose.
I don't know how to fix that one because my thing is in. I'll take like two or three, I guess. I don't know, 2.
Do you pay for StreamYard? I don't know. Do you? How would I know that, silly girl? I pay for StreamYard. Sponged bake. What the hell?
Pickled up, bro.
That's a Charlie Chaplin hat. All you need is your cane.
No cane?
No cane. No, that sucks. Yeah, I pay for StreamYard. It costs me $25 a month because I pay monthly. If you pay for the whole year, it only costs $20 for a month. Oh, Moose, weren't you telling me when I could delete all the videos on StreamYard and it won't affect YouTube?
Yeah. You can delete all that.
All right. I think it was Charlie Chaplin.
It was Chaplin. What about this one? I like this one.
Yeah. If I pay, I should have all of what, Sly? They have different pay scales and you get different options with those pay scales. Like the pay scale I have, you can only have 2 administrators. And I'm not, how many moderators can you have? Do you know, Moose? For that first tier?
For the first tier, you could have 2.
2 moderators?
This isn't part of StreamYard. This is SnapCam or something.
Yeah, that program you're using, I know that, but
yeah, you can have 2 moderators.
well, I think the problem is, I'm not sure, but he's on a laptop, so his camera is built into his unit. I'm using a webcam, and when I go to try to use the same program that he has, it's not working because my webcam's already being used by StreamYard. It's my problem. No, that what he's using isn't in StreamYard. It's another program. It's called Snapchat. Did you have to sign up for Snapchat?
No, I don't have Snapchat. I just downloaded SnapCam for the computer.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe that was the problem, but I guess not.
Yeah, I don't mess around with that shit.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Feeling it.
Let's see here.
Now, Larry, tell me you don't like this one.
I like that. See, here's my here's what I get, Moose.
Oh yeah. On January 25, they're gonna stop it.
Well, there's got to be other ones that are like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can search. All you got to do is hit the search button.
Yeah, but what would you? I know it depends on how you word it, though. That's the biggest problem. Search in what? That screen I just had up, is that what you're talking about, Sly? Or search in search faces? Cam faces?
Yarg.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, maybe I'll try that.
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking for some right now.
Let's see, I need I need a true captain's hat. That's what I'm gonna need.
What?
Not one of these ghetto ones. I need like a real or good one.
Yeah.
This one's all right. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm finding some kind of, a lot of them are for your phone. Oh, let's see here.
There we go, Larry. You wanna hang out in the yacht?
Let me see your yacht.
I gotta unblur it.
That looks kind of cool. I've been on a. How big was that thing? I think it was like 80 or 90-foot boat. That it was an old. It was made in World War One, and it was designed to pick up the aircraft out of the ocean and shit. But they converted it into like a yacht. Had like 6 fucking bathrooms in it and shit. It was pretty cool. That looked kind of funny.
Welcome, boys and girls, to the circus. We love it. We love it. All right, I'll be back, guys. I gotta stop playing around. My baby she's down there with mama. She wants daddy.
All right, not a problem, man. You go get that little girl.
Yeah. I'll see y'all soon.
All right, man. Cam dribble. Yeah, I'm not really seeing too much on that search. Androids. Let's try this. I almost lit my cigarette backwards. All right, we'll see you in a bit, girl. Google Play. I think that's going to be for the phone, though. On some of my devices. How do you find out? See what it says. Yeah. Yeah, it's just looks mostly just for phones so far. I'm finding out. Oh, maybe I'll do this. Try this. Microsoft. Says there are 3 people in here. Where did that go? Oh. Okay. What? How do you... How do you download it? Oh. I don't see how you download it. God damn it. I don't see how you download it. Huh. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I had, but it's not working on my computer. Now you're trying to spoil my fun, Sly? I can't mess anything up? Damn you. What the hell's up with that? I thought that was half the... Ow, fun. Oh my gosh. Ow. She says, no! Oh, you're so funny. Funny face changer. Huh. Damn it. What? That should be it. I think I might got something now. Sounds like you might know me. Ah. All right, where did that go? What the heck? Okay. So how come I can't? Did I just screw it up? Oh. No, god dang it. Why? Oh. Well, that sucks. Well, I think I'm going to have to do this some other time, I guess. Who's all in here? It says we got 4 people here, damn it. Speak or ever hold your peace. I wonder. Wow, that's pretty loud. There's some skip, but it's really low. Try one more time, but I think I'm fucked up. Well, come on. It says there's 4 people here. Is anybody going to talk to me? Okay, so that's the same one. Yeah, that's fucking bullshit. Says it's for the computer, but it's a fucking APK. Fucking bullshit. Android, iOS. Huh. Fucking cold in here. Ow. Now we only got 2 people in here. Single photo. Oh. Well, you guys aren't going to talk to me. I'm thinking I might end this thing. I've already been on here almost 4 hours. Oh. So nobody's going to talk to me? What? What? Fuck that. Um, huh. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. None of this shit seems to work. Hmm. Well, you guys aren't going to talk to me. I think I'm going to end this. I'm pretty close to 4 hours. I hope everybody comes back later on sometime today. And let's see what can happen. Take care, everyone, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.